Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome to Pentiment. I think it's very funny to start the intro in the middle of a different conversation. I'm just trying to keep Amabel on her toes here.
Wait,
Anyway,
was that part of the cop? Wait, did
yeah,
that? Oh
it's just a little exercise. I'm just trying to keep things lively. So today we have concerns about Werner. Werner did not show up to tend to Dad in the way he was supposed to, and so concerns in quotation marks. I want this to be read as overloaded. If it turns out Werner's in some kind of trouble, then it's one meaning of concern, and if it turns out that Werner's not in some kind of trouble, then we're going to harm him. All of that
Love
meaning
that
is
for us.
contained in that word.
Okay, so
But
here's what
since we
I'm
came to
gonna.
Baltus is looking for him, I guess we may as well talk to Baltus first.
Okay, but here's what I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the thing I want to do more than anything
Yes.
is go to the ruins of the monastery.
Ah, yes.
So we'll do Werner Quest first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If that takes an hour, the episode's not over yet. We have to go to the monastery. That's what I'm saying. We're going to the monastery this episode.
All right. The stake has been put down. I understand. We're going to start by talking to Balthazar. Hello, Baltus. Do you have a moment? Well, only one, I'm afraid. What can I do for you? I came across a book about the history of Tassing, and I was hoping you could help me read it, and I don't want him to help me read it. Oh, no, not today. I am far too busy for that at the moment. Nazio and I have our hands full preparing the Christmas ale, you see? Yeah, of course. Sorry to bother you. Oh, not at all. Apologies, I couldn't be of more help. Yeah, they seem very busy.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
So I associate the name of Balthazar with the film A Hazard Balthazar, which is about a donkey. So every time I'm just thinking about that cool donkey from that French movie.
Hey, look. It's Werner.
Oh, we found him right away.
He's just drunk and passed out in an alley with only one of his shoes.
Or is he dead? Is he breathing? I can't tell. There are flies around him.
Yeah, I assume that's stink flies. He's not breathing, but neither is anyone else. I mean, look at Magdalene. Like a statue, like a weeping angel. As I made a media reference you would actually get that time.
Thank you.
Yeah, motherfucker's asleep with his eye open. Can I tell you? I used to know a guy who did this.
Mhm.
His name was Thomas. We all called him T Hill because he was a cool guy. His name was Thomas Hill. He was a cool dude, and he would fall asleep in physics class. And we both sat in the back of my physics. This is high school physics. We both sat in the back of my physics class, and he would always fall asleep like fully head down. The teacher had to know, but like head down, like laying sideways on his arm. So he was looking over at me in the desk next to him with his eyes fucking wide open, but like audibly sleeping, like not snoring, but people breathe a certain way when they're like,
Mhm.
so I know he was asleep, but for like the full hour sometimes it would look like he was just staring at me. It's not really relevant to the situation. It's just a,
Thank you for sharing this story.
yes, I've really enriched everybody's life here. Werner? Hey, wake up. Okay. Yes, prod with foot. I wish there had actually been an animation.
Yeah, we need some kind of okie techniques for this.
Okay, somebody's a big fighting game expert now. I taught her the term okizime like 3 days ago. You were supposed to come check on Dad today. See, I'm ready. Like he's head face up, head away, right? So we got to be ready for the toe kick. What I would do here is just as he's getting up, crouch block,
Yeah.
and then hit him with the mid, like a down forward 2 or something.
This is the stupidest thing, but I would absolutely play a Pentiment fighting game. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. As long as King is still in it. I do still need to be King, obviously. Can you imagine King illustrated in this style?
That's so rad. I think
Throw a,
that's so much.
throw a rolling death cradle on someone. Anyway, you were supposed to come check on Dad today. And then he just falls back asleep. This motherfucker. I don't have the strength to carry him home. I have to tell someone. Maybe Baltus? They're still on friendly terms. Natsu could help. I've never clicked on Natsu's name before. I don't think anyone's ever actually said it before.
It has been said, and I like the idea that he's going to be able to do something. Oh, I do like Big York, though. I like Big York better.
I think, yeah. Plus, we know Baltus. Like, as much as I make fun of Baltus, we're friendly with Baltus. We know he's busy. Like, Big York, he's strong. He can do it. Ugh, what a mess.
All right, let's find Big York.
Yeah, let's, I do not want to talk to Apollo about this. Hey, Rezi, where is Big York? Big York's going to be down here. Big York, feed them chickens.
Chickens, good chickens.
Hey, Magdalene, can I help you with something? I found Dr. Stoltz passed out drunk by the bakery, sleeping in a ditch. Again. For Christ's sake. It happening, there's going to be a word here, right? Nope. Okay, occasionally, I guess, just didn't quite fit in that big space. It happening occasionally is fine, but the man can't hold his beer. To be blunt, even occasionally doesn't seem proper to me. A man just sometimes has to unwind, relieve the burden of responsibilities. In any case, I'll take him home. No need to worry, Magdalene. All right, I nod curtly. It didn't say curtly, but I want you to know that I did it curtly. Hey, Il Peter. Okay, Il Peter's got nothing to say. Do we have anything else of terrible import to do? I think at this point, really, we just want to go to the monastery, right? But I'm going to talk to everybody anyway. I'm going to do everything in my power to delay the monastery ruins. Take that.
No! No!
Hello, Magdalene.
Why would you do this to me?
Hello, Hans. Did you need something? How are you doing? Fine enough. The weather's getting colder. And the family? Healthy and hardworking. Simon's taking care of the winter provisions. He's a good boy. I'm proud of him. And you know how beautiful and kind-hearted Yuta is. That's so weird. Okay, they fixed it. I was like, it's so weird that they couldn't fit the word occasionally onto that one block, but they were willing to split a word mid-syllable, but I guess splitting it mid-syllable was a typo and it has been repaired. What a weird system. What a strange game. Mm-hmm. Just like her mother. I don't know how I got so lucky. She's a miracle. She'll marry a good man soon, I'm sure. There aren't too many options in Tassing, though. A few. They better keep their eyes open, though, or they'll miss out on her. That young Otz is a good man, I've noticed. Yeah, fucking have at him.
No, let's do the first one. Let's play matchmaker.
Okay.
Get him away from us.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he's solid enough. That takes after his father. All the same, when Yuta has children one day, they'll be beautiful and kind like their mother. You know, Yuta's so caring. She'll be a good mother. I'm proud you think so. I did my best to raise her right, but her best qualities are all Helvig? Is that the name of his? I don't remember this name. So. Well, give yourself a little credit, Hans. Kind of you to say, Magdalene. I wonder if that like didn't quite land the way I intended, though. The ellipsis before
Yeah.
that sort of suggests that maybe he's I don't know. I should get back to it. Until later. Yeah, until then. It did seem like I kind of upset him a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
I'm real good at that. I don't know if you've noticed.
I have. You're very snailed at it.
You didn't manage to hold it for very long at all that time. This is gonna be a whole thing, huh? All right.
We've already established that.
I
Alright.
mean, I've already said it in person outside of the context of these episodes, so it's
You have. It has become a part of our real life. And
not part of the lore.
I just, it is what it is. Hey, check out this tree. Look at this tree that is two different tree graphics pasted together. What's the deal with that? That's pretty weird, right?
yeah.
Martin. Damn it. Martin, confess your sins. All right. I guess we're heading out. It doesn't seem like anybody really wants to talk to me. I am kind of curious. You know what? Actually, I do want to go back and talk to Apollo, I think. Just I want to try to resolve this key thing. I'm curious, did the key thing resolve itself? It was like 2 weeks, right? In that little time gap?
Yeah.
God bless you, Magdalene. And God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment?
Oh no.
Oh,
No, don't ask him. Don't ask him about the book.
Of course. What can I help you with? I wanted to ask you about Tassing's saints. I'd like to represent them in the rat house. Oh, I'm thrilled to hear it. The saints will make a wonderful centerpiece for the murals. Yeah. Okay, I like the fact that both of these options are like sort of backing them down. Honestly, these don't seem different to me almost at all. I guess
the first one, opens the possibility that it might not be there. Whereas the second one says a part of.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to say the bottom one.
Okay.
Not as a centerpiece, simply as part of Tassing's history. Of course, I consider our saints to be central to Tassing's history. He's getting in on it too. This is how I know he's a villain. Kearsau's too. But there is one saint you're overlooking. Contemplate this. Why, the Blessed Virgin, of course, Mary. Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago. The Virgin Mary appeared in Tassing. Why? Yes, she appeared to give a message. Centuries ago, a farmer in the fields behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him that she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Freising that she had appeared. The peasant traveled down to Freising, but the bishop would not see or hear him. Well, I mean, that seems like a reasonable response, all things considered. Oh, perhaps, but blessed are those who believe but have not seen. Yeah, oh boy, gosh. I don't like the implications of that at all.
No.
There's a thing. Okay, I'm not going to digress again. I'm going to resist the urge.
Okay, at least it means I can digress more later. That's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to ration it. But sadly, the bishop did not believe. The peasant returned to Tassing and had another vision in the field. The Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Freising.
Yeah, just keep listening.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask that question. I don't think it's going to be valuable. The bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but he could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. He met with the peasant, who told him of the 2 apparitions he had seen here in Tassing. The bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here to Tassing. I'm just going to keep listening. And when the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. She told the farmer that the town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town. And so the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. The people of Tassing have been using it ever since. Huh. I mean, this is kind of a strange question, I think, because, like, he's lived here and he's been in the church. That he's exactly the kind of person who would have heard that story.
Yeah.
When was the painting made? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe 100 years ago, maybe 300. And, of course, I couldn't tell you the artist, unfortunately.
It was ill Peter.
But it's been here as long as anyone can remember. Thank you for the story, Father Thomas. Have I convinced you to include the saints prominently in the mural? I'm still considering it. Well, if deliberation fails you, perhaps you will find that prayer gives you greater clarity. God bless you in your work, Magdalene. Yeah, God bless you, Father Thomas. So maybe the key thing has been resolved in the interim, since we didn't even have the option of mentioning it to him. But I do kind of want to go and bug Apollo about it, and we do know where Apollo is. Nope, okay. Nothing, never mind. All right, now to the mill to talk to every character there, and then to the Golden Hand. How's everybody doing? Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill? Well, Dad was telling me your family's been in Tassing for hundreds of years. Oh, is this for the mural? I'm not sure I want to get mixed up in that. Are you sure? Hardly any family's been in town as long as yours. You're one of the few people who knows anything about the town after the Romans left. The Müllers have been a pillar of Tassing for generations, yes. Though I'm afraid I only know a little bit about them. And much of that I've heard from others. Leonard didn't care to talk about the past. Well, I meant your family, the one you were born to. Your family name was Caviezel, wasn't it? Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbors had forgotten us. I'm not surprised your father remembers the Caviezels. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I'm the last of us left now. And you say it's Caviezel, not Caviezelin. I have always been called Caviezel, as were my sisters and mother, and her mother before her. My grandfather told me that the Caviezels have lived in this area for hundreds of years. Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine a time so long ago. So that would be pre-Roman, right? 1,000 years from here. Hey, when was the Roman Empire?
So what we call the Roman Empire
Pretty much ended in the 400s or 500s in the West.
Okay.
So yeah, 1,000 years ago was like right at the end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did I say pre-Roman? I meant post. You know what
I know what you meant.
Okay, thank you. Every time I say something that makes me sound dumb on camera, I am immediately struck with great shame.
Now, you can argue, however, that the Roman Empire continued for like another 800 years. I mean, now call it the Byzantine Empire, but that was the Roman Empire. But that's not the way they're using it here, though. So
So, the Caviezel's were pagans? Yes, the original Bavarian people. Here even before the Romans. My grandfather said his grandfather told him the Caviezel's resettled the town after the Romans left. Built their new home right on the spot where they had been living when the Romans arrived. I want to be less, shocked about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Doesn't that seem unlikely to you? Oh, who can say? Why does a story need to be true? We're just going to roll right past that as though that's not maybe the most significant thing anybody said all act. However true it may or may not be doesn't matter, Magda. It matters that I believe it, that it connects me to my ancestors. And when I think of the ancient Caviezel's driven from their land, only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? Gosh. We are this is not going to be as major of a point as I want it to be, but I really feel like we should dig into that idea. And I love the fact that we have the option of shutting her down specifically because of something in our character. I don't think we want to do that though.
No.
I think I'm going to go middle option here,
Yeah.
even though I don't know that I think that this is the way Magdalene... I'm going to go, diplomatic middle option.
Yeah.
I think so. It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mom. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I can almost recall it.
That's sweet.
Yes. It doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favorite songs to Ulrich, I may not know all the words anymore, but that's all right. Just as I may not know exactly how the Caviezel's resettled Tassing. What matters is that I feel close to her and them, even though they are so far from me now. That is what stories are for, Magda. Now go on. You've got a mural to complete. Yo, that's like a very... Okay. I'm going to resist. I have such strong feelings about this topic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elsa. You've given me much to consider. God bless you, Magdalene, dear. Okay.
Do you want to share some of those strong feelings as we go all the way to the monastery?
We absolutely will not get anything else done this episode. Anybody who's been around here on the channel for a while has heard probably some of my rants on stories and the purpose of stories and the way stories are used, the many, many purposes of stories and the many, many ways stories are used, and how you can use stories to do harm and erase and damage things. And
yeah.
Anyway,
There's
hi
some
Ulrich.
Cool hobby horses.
Those are cool hobby horses. Those are rad. Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Anna. How are you? Oh, keeping busy. There's always plenty to do around the house. How's the mural coming? Paul mentioned your progress is quite impressive. I'll have to thank him. That's high praise coming from a councilman. Truth be told, he enjoys following your progress. I'll have to bring Andreas and Ulrich by sometime to see your progress. This is a thing that happens a lot in this game that I think is kind of weird and that I think I would avoid if I was writing it, but I think it's ultimately it's just like a stylistic choice. You get 3 lines of dialogue in a row that end with the same 2 words.
Yeah.
And every time it happens, it feels clumsy to me, but I think ultimately I do think it's just like an aesthetic twinge on my part. I think there's anything wrong with it. We won't get in your way, of course. I'm sure they'd love to learn about the process. Well, you're all more than welcome, but watch your step. There's plaster everywhere. I've just mixed a new batch to keep the wall moist. It's hard to maintain the right texture when it's so cold out. Oh, I can imagine. I had a similar problem. I had a, s- I had a
What's up?
similar problem when I helped my mother in the bakery. This is the stupidest thing. Her talking about keeping the wall moist, like it just pinged a little bit of a memory in my head, and that memory was like really registering as these words were forming. So I don't know if you're familiar with Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
I am vaguely.
Okay, one of Johnny's core motivations through the early part of the story is that there's a wall in his apartment or in his house that he believes must be kept wet at all times, because if it dries, it will serve as a portal allowing some kind of being into the world. And specifically, it must be kept wet with blood. The reason he's a homicidal maniac is he believes he has to keep this wall wet with blood.
I mean, you could just buy blood.
You cannot in that quantity. Listen, don't interrogate the story on the fucking. It's not.
I know.
Anyway, so I was just like, that memory was reforming because I haven't read Johnny the Homicidal Maniac since high school. But that memory was reforming right as she was going, oh, I can imagine I had a similar problem. And I was just imagining Anna in that position. I can see the panel of Johnny screaming, I have to keep the wall wet, but with Anna as superimposed. Like, this is the stupidest shit. It's relatable to absolutely nobody. And I apologize, everyone, for spending your time on this recollection.
We were 24 or 25 episodes in. I feel like people know the deal by now.
Rolling dough in winter was such trouble. We had to throw out so many batches that wouldn't rise. Your discipline is admirable, Magdalene. Magdaleno is a really cool nickname for her. I want to believe her friends call her Magdaleno. You know, I was a real rascal back in the day. Skipped on working with my parents more times than I can count.
He's also a hat thief.
I can't imagine you making trouble while the hat sits right here. Oh, so it wasn't Big York who was the troublemaker. Oh, no. York has always been more hardworking than me. I was a thief and scoundrel. Aha, she admits it. It started with cakes from my mother's table, still hot from the oven. Soon it was silverware, mugs, trinkets I found around town. Ulrich's little hat once even belonged to Andreas Mahler, your father's friend. I stole it right off his head. Of course, stealing is against the Lord's commandments. So my father would make me return everything if I hadn't eaten it already, and marched me to church to pray. Father Thomas grew accustomed to seeing me more often than Sunday mornings. Well, what changed? Well, I grew out of the habit over time. I think I started to see why my parents had such a devotion to the Lord. Stealing was my way of acting out. But when the troubles started in town, I realized that my thieving wasn't doing any good. I decided I'd rather honor my father and mother, as God commands. It gives me grace with Andreas and Ulrich on the hard days, and with the rest of the town, too. You know, I definitely think she believes the bottom one. Do we want to say? I kind of want to say the bottom one.
Okay.
Well, that's more charitable than some people in Tassing deserve. Everyone deserves grace, Magdalene, regardless of their sins.
No, that the whole point of grace is that it's undeserved. That's what grace is. That's the whole.
Get her, baby. Lay those hermeneutics down on her. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have plenty of mural work to do. I'll see you later, Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Do you want to get any more shouting out, or?
No,
Okay.
no, because we're going to the monastery is the thing.
Well, the thing is, we're going to go talk to Paul. Aw.
No, we're
The
not.
thing is, we're gonna go talk to Andreas.
No.
Magdalene. The thing is, I mean, we better stop and
Okay.
pet this highly suspicious dog.
Such a good dog. Also, I like that she pets the animals. It seems differently than Andreas did.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different technique. I like that very much. I like that attention to detail. There's so much.
There's
This
so
this
much
is a
detail.
good game.
Yeah. What's going on over here? But it's still so beautiful here, Martha. One more moment. All right, take your time.
Is it just like a spoon in his hat?
Carl's had a spoon in his hat the entire game,
Well, why though?
so that he has a spoon.
Okay, that's fair.
Where else are you going to carry it?
Yeah.
The pocket was not invented until the 1700s, as we all well know. So, oh, hello, Magdalene. Dad, look who it is. Oh, that's who she is. She's Carl's daughter. Good morning, Mr. Struckerin. Hello, Martha. Carl, how are you today? On our usual walk around town. November hasn't grown too cold yet. The voice I'm using for Martha, the intonation and, like, I don't do voices, but the intonation and rhythm I'm using for Martha is absolutely just the same as I'm doing for Magdalene. I can't... There's too many fucking characters in this game. Dr. Stoltz says Dad needs to keep using the leg or the pain will get worse. And I'm getting old. I don't know why he would laugh at the end of that. Not so old you can sit around at home telling stories. You listen to your daughter, Carl. You young girls think you're my keeper, is that it? I've always been your keeper, Dad. Well, no arguments from me there. Then it sounds like you have Martha to thank for your good health. That probably would have mattered, if we had done this before talking to her about the Claires or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, given that the alternative is Werner, I'm glad to have something. Can't even find his ass with both hands. Yeah, he's getting a lot less reliable, like, rapidly. Dad. What? Anton would have made a better doctor than him. Wait, Anton. Okay, the child. Anton, my poor boy. It's all right, Dad. I'm just going to say this is a wild thing to ask.
Yeah,
somebody.
that's...
Fucking really, dude? You haven't moved on yet? I'm sorry, Carl. It's not your fault, Magdalene. Just a babe, then. I can't... It's my fault that he died. It's not, Dad. You know it's not. Well, he shouldn't have been with me that night. He shouldn't have... I was a fool. I'm going to not interrupt. I do want to know what happened, but I don't feel like it's my place to push. And also, I think there's a pretty good chance he's going to launch into it himself.
Yeah.
The abbey was engulfed in flames. The heat, you wouldn't believe it, seared the hair off my eyebrows. I was bleeding. Anton tried to drag me out of the fight. And then that godforsaken Landsknecht stepped between us. I hope he burns in hell. Oh, I can't even imagine what that was like. Do we commiserate or do we ask a semi-related question?
I think semi-related.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I feel like this is almost like comparing grief in a way that I could see being very annoying to a person. I don't think I would like necessarily for somebody to respond in this way. How old were you during the revolt, Martha? 7 or so. I didn't understand what was happening. Someone brought Dad home in the middle of the night. It was dark, confusing. There was screaming outside. Mom and a couple of the men who brought Dad in were trying to patch up the wound, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. She kept shouting, "Where's Anton? Where's Anton?" There was blood on the floor. You cried so much you threw up, and we couldn't get you to stop. I couldn't understand where Anton had gone. Dad tried to explain, but... Martha, my dear, enough of that. I'm so sorry. How did you go on? Did I? I don't know. Some nights I think I'm there still. The Abbey is always burning. My Helena passed not long after. I was left alone with Martha to care for. It definitely doesn't feel in character for a religious interjection here. I had to keep going for Martha, and somehow my daughter grew into a wonderful woman despite it all. I suppose that was all Helena's doing. Dad, if I'm any good, it's because of you. I'm gonna go top here. Well,
Okay.
Thank you for telling me about the night, Carl, Martha. Time doesn't heal, Magdalene, but it does dull the ache. It's time we continued with the walk, Dad. Yes, dear. I'm feeling much more alive now. Well, be well, you two. I did not intend to kick off something of that seriousness there. That really snuck up on me.
Yeah, the writing in the game is so strong and so carefully observed. And we were talking about Warner, about how he's not doing so great lately. And I remember when we met him drunk here in the inn, and he was going on about how he felt trapped in the town and whatnot. And I think that I like that there are characters that mirror what Magdalene is trying to decide as far as, am I going to stay in this small place or go somewhere larger?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've had characters who are trying to make these decisions about what their future is going to be, and are they going to do what other people expect them to do? And it is so refreshing. We talked about this, I think, in the previous episode. It's so refreshing to have a game that takes its themes seriously and puts thought into how it explores them through, like, multiple characters and mirroring and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, it's real good. I notice we are now in the inn and not the monastery.
Yeah, weird. Hi, Mags. Sorry, I can't talk for long right now. Magdalene? Oh, of course, Magdalene. I didn't mean to be impolite. Well, you've more courtesy than Otts and Apollo put together. Thanks, I guess. So, what are you doing? Oh, you know, it's almost December. Preparing for the festivities is hard work. Mom and Dad need my help. They're not as spry as they used to be. Ooh, nope.
Yeah, nope.
Well, then it's a good thing they have you helping out. Yes. I'll make sure the Golden Hand becomes noteworthy across Bavaria. Wow, kid is committed. That's quite a lofty goal. Well, inns are the lifeblood of the land, you know? Sure, merchants carry goods and pilgrims visit relics, but where would all of them sleep without a solid, reliable inn? The growth of Tassing, the construction of the rat house, the mural, these are only going to bring in more people. It's important they have a place to sleep and warm food to keep them happy. How is the mural coming along anyway? You know, it's almost like he's the only... I'm trying to think of, like, everybody we've talked to. Is he the only person we've spoken to who is, like, hopeful about the future in any way?
Yeah. I think so.
Given the sort of, like, the soup that I have been marinating in here psychologically, it strikes me as like a totally alien concept. He said that and I was like, fucking what? One step at a time. Learning about the history of Tassing is a challenge. Huh. Well, at least you can read well enough to learn more of the history. I'm still struggling a bit. Just keep learning, Killian. I will. I'm sorry, Magdalene. I really have to get back to work. Be well.
What a nice young man.
Yeah, he seems very decent. We're going to talk to these people, and then we will go to the ruins of the monastery. And there may not even be much talking to do. Good morning, Magdalene. What brings you to the Golden Hand? I'm on my way to the Abbey.
Yes, you are.
I thought it would be helpful to explore the ruins for the mural. Lots of history to be uncovered there, no doubt. You mind yourself at that place. It could collapse any day now. Don't worry, I'll watch my step. This feels like a brush off. It's kind of rude. Don't worry, I'll watch my step. Now be sure you do. I'd hate to have to tell Klaus I saw you last if you don't return. Yo, dude, a little dark. Say, Magdalene, would you mind doing me a favor on your way back to town? Hannah's birthday's coming up, and I asked Gret to make her something special. Killian and I have our hands full here, so I was hoping you might pick it up. Sure, of course, I'd be happy to help. Oh, you're a credit to your mother, Magdalene. Thank you. I'll have some of Baltus's fresh brew set aside for you when you get back. It's his best yet. Yeah, I'll stop by the Albans on my way back from the Abbey. This is my actual plan. I'm going to try to be honest. That'll be just fine. Be well, Magdalene. Okay, now it's like really important that we don't forget to do that. Okay, let's go. Look, I'm even holding the run button. It makes me move 10% faster.
Abbey.
Oh, they won't let me run anymore. Nope, there we go. Okay, it's a little finicky. I think if you press it too quickly after a screen transition, it doesn't count. I should talk to Sister Gertrude, since she was a Benedictine nun at Curacao before the poor Clares arrived. She'd be able to tell me all about the convent's history for the mural. You know, that's a good point, Magdalene.
No, it's the wrong direction.
Oh, you're right. She might be in the shrine. Let's check the shrine first. Let's be very thorough in here. Just really got to make sure. Okay, well, she's not even in here. Weird. Let's, oh, you know what? We can't just, like, pass by the hand of St. Moritz without at least giving it a little honoring. There we go. They'll take care of it. Okay, that's fine. That's good. All right.
Okay,
so Sister Gertrude, yeah?
Here's the thing that happened before we started recording. Is you accused me of being a troublemaker.
In a troublemaking mood. You were clearly in a troublemaking mood.
I'm not the one making the trouble here.
I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that I should not have stopped to pet Son of Mousefanger? Really?
Okay, no, that's you're right. I'm in the wrong. I can admit when I'm in the wrong. I'm wrong here.
God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favor to ask of you. Well, of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. I have a book, the Historia Tassiae, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Gertrude is the one that I was figuring would be most useful for this out of all of the options.
Also, frankly, in the Pentiment fighting game, Gertrude's gonna be my main.
Gertrude,
absolutely.
Gertrude is top tier for sure. Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. No, that's all right, sister. I'll have to find another way. There was one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Rat House mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away. No, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kirsau, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and the history of Tassing's saints to the Rathouse mural. I wrote to Reverend Matthew since he lived at the Abbey, but I wanted to see the place firsthand. Ah, Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited to such a role. But I don't suppose that's what you came up the hill for. You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes, I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. Well, the poor Clares don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Mother Francisca wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. I'm gonna go middle here. Well, that makes my job difficult. Let me finish, Magdalene Druckerin. What is the word here going to be? However, Mother Francisca always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Wow, that's some liberties. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life,
Oh, I like the look on her face. That's a very good mischief look.
It's actually quite similar to your mischief look.
Yes, I know.
Well, I have always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion. Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Francisca now?
No.
I have other things to do first, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Very well. Come find me if you change your mind. God bless you, Magdalene. You know, I probably should pet the cat before we go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Aw. Ridiculous. What a ridiculous animal is a cat.
I love cats so much.
I know you do, sweetie.
I also like rats.
Yeah, definitely understand. That was ridiculous. Parentheses fond.
Oh yeah, no, I understand.
A rat is easily as ridiculous a creature. Okay, we're not actually allowed to go into the ruins of the Abbey at all here.
No, there has to be a way in.
Let me see if we can get in down here. Can't enter the guest house. But can I approach this way? Can't enter the abbot house either. Vines have grown over the entrance. It sure did sound like we were supposed to be picking through the ruins, didn't it? But maybe we can't do it until after we do the poor Claire's thing. I mean, it sure... very strange. Out of curiosity.
Yeah.
So yeah, our map just has the indicator on Gertrude. Yeah, weird. I really...
I guess let's go do the convent thing. Maybe it'll let us in after. I am very irritable right now. This will be a long episode, because again, we're not ending until we get to the monastery.
Sure. That's a power you totally have. Yes, let's go meet with Mother Francisca now. Mother Francisca, I'd like to introduce Magdalene Druckerin.
Oh, we've met.
The printer's daughter, yes. God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition, and we pray for his recovery daily. Thank you, Abbess. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and the community that provides for us. Now, what is this about? Sister Gertrude, you know our holy rules. Why bring young Mistress Druckerin to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world and is contemplating the holy life. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Right, yeah.
Very smooth.
I don't know that she's gonna buy this, considering we blew her off pretty seriously last time, right?
Yeah.
So you've decided to consider my offer after all. Well, if God is calling you to the convent, I am more than willing to help you fulfill that divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the Poor Clares? Okay, a thing that is believable. Holy Vision seems strong. You know, this is only a half of a lie.
Yeah. No, this is good.
I'm worried that helping my father run in the shop. I don't know that she's gonna buy this because I think we
No.
said the exact opposite of this to her last time.
Yeah. I say middle.
All right. Well, if I become a sister, I won't have to marry, which is far better than being stuck bearing kids the rest of my life. Magdalene, I do not encourage such a reason for joining the order. Remember, the Lord commanded man to be fruitful and multiply. However, I understand if the Lord brings you to the convent for such a reason. Some women are born barren. If you truly desire the holy life, then you are more than welcome to observe the sisters. Please, come. I am happy to tell you more of our order. Our small convent used to be part of the larger Kirsau Double Monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. However, the Poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe that it is not ours to produce, and live solely on the alms of the community of Tassing as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the church. We believe that the Lord called us into a life of poverty and service. Does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around, get a feel for the place. Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a laywoman bothering the sisters from their duties or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Suzanne to show you our duties. Please take your time. When you have finished, please come find me and we will discuss your decision to join. Finally, I thought she'd never finish. What? But truthfully, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm surprised that we're just letting this fly so quickly. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the rat house. So it seems like Suzanne is maybe kind of a goody two shoes. So maybe we got to take the lead here. Take agency.
Yeah.
Sort of bowl her over with force of personality. Oh, now that the lecture's over, I can get on with what I came here for. Are you coming? But Mother Francisca said... She said that as long as I'm with you, it's fine to look around. Are you really going to get us both in trouble? No. I always follow Mother Francisca's orders.
Can I say something problematic?
Sure.
I ship this so hard.
I knew that's what it was going to be. The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the aquarium, the chapter house, the yard, and the old workshop, though no one uses that old shed anymore. I'll leave it to you to decide where to go first. Rad. Okay.
Where was it that we ended up... Oh, is that who I think it is?
Marguerite?
Sweetie.
Yeah.
Marguerite... Is that Mousefinger? Is Mousefinger still alive?
I mean, Mousefinger probably just had a lot of... cats tend to... They breed in litters. What were you going to ask? You got distracted by the presence of a cat.
Love that for me. There was some place when we were coming up the tunnel
Yeah, it's here. It's
Where-
the kitchen.
It's okay.
There was a table on it before. I think this is the great down.
Okay. That's a fish? Huh. The face is very,
This is the kitchen. There's not anything that interesting here. Sister Marie and Sister Isabeau take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed. I'm not even allowed to inspect the grate. Darn it.
That is the first animal I've seen that doesn't look like a real animal in this game.
Okay.
The pigs are perfect.
I disagree, but okay. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, sister. How goes the cooking? As well as the Lord wills it. My old fingers fumble from time to time, but it is my privilege to prepare supper for the others, or for the other sisters. That's very noble of you. Just as God gave Paul a thorn in his side, so too did he give me the pains of age to strengthen my faith. Such things are a blessing when compared to the pains Jesus or Christ carried upon the cross. There are medicines that could ease your pain, sister. Yes, Sister Gertrude's remedies have often helped my aching bones. She speaks a little bit more slowly than everybody else, and I'm like bumping into the edge of the revealing text a lot. But even such medicines cannot ease all pain. I have chosen to find meaning and devotion to the Lord through my hardship. Well, thank you for sharing your perspective with me, sister. This is like the polite version of this text.
Mm-hmm.
You are most welcome, child. God bless you. How does Sister Marie feel about all this? God bless you, child. Are you delivering something? No, sister. I'm learning more about the convent's history so that I can finish a mural in town. I mean, at this point, we've sort of devoted ourselves to being honest with everybody else,
Yeah.
right? So no sense changing course now. I see. This kitchen has been used for decades, longer than I've been alive, to be sure. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to butcher the animals. Sister Isabeau has graciously taken on that task for me. We need sustenance, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong, according to the rule of St. Francis. You know, the mystic friar and founder of the Franciscan order. Born in Assisi to wealthy parents, St. Francis was called to a life of poverty and preaching. With his follower, St. Clare, he helped found the Order of Poor Clares. I don't feel like called to a life of poverty and preaching so much as a life of poverty and preaching has been thrust upon me. I certainly don't feel like anyone asked. I would have said no. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals. Well, the kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything here from the convent's founding days? No more than the structure itself, I'm afraid. Cookware needs replacing over the years. Though some nights a ghost appears to me by the cook fire, a lost spirit trapped between heaven and hell. Sister Marie, not this again. Not to Magdalene, please. Hold on now. A ghost?
Third one.
I'm kind of in like 1 and 3. What made you think you saw a spirit, sister? The figure rose up through the very ground we stand on at vigils, not a fortnight ago. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world are weakest. We may be the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath this foundation centuries before. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground. I feel like we can't really press on this very much more. I guess I'll just say the top one. This is the one that's most likely to get her to volunteer any extra information. A spirit in Kirsau. Why would it come to the convent, though? It breaks my heart to think this spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond heaven's reach. Why don't we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Marie too upset. Of course. God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. Am I allowed to examine the grate now? No.
No.
Something's going on here.
Yeah, no. So, someone who maybe knows about the secret passageway and needs to surreptitiously get food from the kitchen.
What do you think? The chapel or the aquarium?
Let's go aquarium, I guess.
I guess we've... Oh, hold on. Here's the aquarium. Most of the Abbey's visitors come in here, but aren't allowed to enter. We aren't allowed to go into the outside world either. Like Mother Francisca said, isolation is a part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into town sometimes, and even talk to men on occasion. And I'm stuck here, staring at these walls for the rest of my life. Oh. Well, it doesn't seem like she thinks much of her life here. I can't blame her, I feel like. Even so, she doesn't seem to have the passion that Sister Gertrude and the others have. I mean, the bottom thing's way out of character, right?
Yeah.
If she hates her life here so much, maybe I should encourage her to leave the order.
Oh, sweetie, are we going to get to seduce another nun?
Okay, I think you're making a big jump to seduce. Better to leave while she has a future ahead of her. After all, there are plenty of young men in Bavaria who would make good husbands. Still, there may be some reason she chose to stay. I don't want to overstep my bounds. I like the middle one. Like the middle one
Okay.
feels like a more gentle probe. It feels like less obvious. You didn't always want to be a poor Clare, sister? Huh. No, who would want to be a nun? My father promised me to the church as a baby. Some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy. So there I was, dropped into the Poor Clares the summer I turned 17. Oh. Well, I'm so sorry. No one should be forced into a life they don't want. We daughters are born to bear our family's legacy. Between our legs or on our backs. Doesn't matter. Fuck.
That's grim.
I have no idea what that word's going to be. Devoted. Okay. My family is devoted to the church. I've only been in the convent for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, and I'm sure of my devotion to the Lord, but this isn't what I wanted. But since when did a woman ever get what she wanted without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. Well, gosh, it's one or two, but
Yeah.
I'm debating which one of these things I think is going to lead most to this young woman. We're trying to rescue this lady.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else is going to see it that way. I mean, I think if I talk about the world outside in terms of it still being a prison, that probably doesn't help as much. Well, we can only do the best we can. I pray that one day it'll be different. Maybe, but we certainly won't ever live to see it. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude, even Sister Marguerite. At least they got to see something of the outside world before they were 20. So is it 2 or 4? I feel like
4.
I feel like pressing, like, yeah, I want to like help her understand something to run toward, not just something to run away from, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you could do anything else, what would it be? Well, I would have liked to go to one of the big cities at least once. I would have been happy just to be a shopkeeper's wife.
Oh, honey.
Thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Yeah, lead on. Okay, this is interesting. This is the chapel where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. It's the oldest part of the convent. And the most drafty. Hello again, Sister Gertrude. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from... I don't fully understand this sentence, I think. We're talking about the mural, but it's like it's strange to talk about it doing something from its earliest days as though the mural would have changed somehow. Right? Like there's like a lot of assumed information in here. Whatever. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from its earliest days. Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower was a Burgfried long before the structure became a monastery. A Burgfried is a freestanding defensive tower, not built for permanent habitation. Huh. I've never heard of that before. The duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. These walls have protected Tassing from the attacks of spirit and steel for generations. Well, there's some Latin here, too, but I can't read it very well. Oh, Suzanne's Latin is really good. Interesting. Either that or she's memorized this. God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Lord Kirsau's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of the death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. I very nearly said Frederick JJ. This is not a good way of representing eyes. Thank you, Sister Suzanne. Yes, the first lists the abbey's founding date. The Lady Kirsau was actually the one to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminata thought it would be fitting, even if the sisters were not here, some record of what occurred would remain. Okay, this is good information for us. Kirsau is unique. A double monastery with 2 saints, one male and one female, to guard the town and the abbey. Huh. Geez. What do I think is what is valuable to say here? What is going to get us the most information in total? I guess the question, like the other 2 things are leading, right?
Yeah.
Is one of them a better lead? I kind of like the bottom one, honestly. Okay. I kind of want to get Gertrude's response to this. It's fascinating to think that even before the Duke gifted it to the church, the fortification was founded by St. Moritz. The saints have a long history in these lands. Many things once thought lost are truly foundational to how we live. You are right, sister. This mural will be a great reference for the rat house. Then I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene. Hey, can I show you this book please? No? Not allowed to? All right. I feel like at this point we're not allowed to go into the garden. Oh, we didn't go into the courtyard here. Oh, it's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, God bless you, says Sister Benedicta. Sister Suzanne, God bless you. Oh, this ice is hard. Do I recognize you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Yes, you'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Burden, more like. I have to run around everywhere, gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent, anyway? We're not lying to the sisters at this point. Suzanne knows what's up. She's just going to tell everybody anyway. Snooping. Ooh, don't let me get in the way then. What an adventure.
I love that.
Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Oh, yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home, and I don't have to share my bed with siblings anymore. I like to help the older sisters, and I don't mind the chores, except when it's cold like this. Well, one more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? I'm glad we went to the kitchen first. Ghosts? No, everything's been normal recently. I haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Marie's ghost? I think it's Mauritius myself. Oh, no. Oh, so there is a ghost in the Abbey. Well, I haven't seen anything myself, but if there is a ghost, I'd like to think it's Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. Huh. Christian refugees. Yes, the book said they were fleeing Roman persecution. Maybe under Nero. I don't remember. Nero is a Roman emperor known for his cruelty and persecution of Christians and Jews, as well as his disinterest in the Roman people. He famously fiddled as he watched a fire ravage Rome.
That's not a... He did not... There was,
whether or not it happened, it is famous.
Yeah.
You know, everybody loved it when those nerds on the Titanic did it. But if you're Nero, all of a sudden it's a big problem. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. Well, a Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he? Say, what did you do with that book, sister? Oh, well, I had it with me in the kitchen one day, and I accidentally laid the fire poker on it.
Oh.
Stare in shock and horror. Sister Benedicta. I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene. Well, I like one of the top two. I like, at least the information got read and then got passed along. Well, I suppose it's better that the book got some use before it was lost forever. Besides, that story gives me ideas for the Rat House mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Francisca. God bless you, sister. Thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. We're doing pretty good snooping here. I feel like we're getting a lot of information. The Convent Art Studio. This is just going to be a really long one. I kind of want to like conclude this convent bit.
Yeah.
Oh, the workshop is covered in dust. Yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. They used to make badges and art for pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. Well, it looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. Well, we can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. Ooh. I do like the
third one.
Yeah. I think the first and third are both interesting as ways of sort of like prodding at her beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Surely you've thought of sneaking in and creating something, right? I had thought about it. I'm just not sure if it's really worth it. Mother Francisca doesn't let us come in here unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed that some of the brushes have gone missing. Paint pots, too.
Mm-hmm.
So you think one of the sisters is secretly painting? It could be the twins. It absolutely could be the twins.
Oh, I think it's the ghost. I think...
You want to ask about the ghost?
I don't necessarily want to ask about the ghost. I am telling you, it's...
Yeah, it's the person. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we know who that person is.
Do you think we should ask her about the ghost, though? Like...
Mm.
I think it's 1 or 3. She's not going to have an opinion about the twins.
Let's go with 1.
All right. You think one of the sisters is secretly painting? Oh, God, no. We all live too close together in the convent for something like that to go unnoticed. In any case, I think it's sad the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you were here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. Suzanne, you are all right. You and I are about to be best friends. Huh, there's an old parchment scrap here. It's different from the others. Art of the Mithraeum. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margin. It says the Mithraeum of Tassing had been destroyed by a flood. Mithraeum? That's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. It could be from that book, huh? Like,
Yeah.
This might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. Well, I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the convent by that name. Well, the note says the Mithraeum was destroyed, so I suppose it doesn't matter much now. Curious. Such valuable paint left to dry and crack on the palettes. And these old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who bought them love them too. Oh. Well, you've seen the entire convent. There's not much here. What do you think of it? To be honest, it seems like a life of drudgery. Yes, certain parts of our life here can be frustrating. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters.
Oh yes, please.
I really think you should go. It does not seem good for you here.
Oh no.
Yeah, I feel bad about that one. I don't know how I feel like we worked really hard on that.
Oh.
Your family just left you here. You don't know the sisters anything. I do, though. The sisters have taken care of me. They love me, and I love them. Even if this life wasn't my choice, they accepted me. Who knows? Maybe it will get better in time. This is how it always goes. You try to cut off little pieces of yourself, and try to hope that you'll start fitting, and in the end,
Yeah.
there's nothing left.
Yep. This is familiar to me.
And every time you do it, it gets a little bit easier to do the next one instead of making the big move that you should make to save yourself. Maybe. I'll try to help any way I can, even if it's just sneaking around the convent wall to say hello. Really? That would be wonderful, so long as no one found out. Anyway, we should return to Mother Francisca before she suspects something. I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. No, thank you, Magdalene. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Come, let's find Mother Francisca. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Ugh. Well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us as a sister? No, absolutely not. What the fuck? I think I prefer my books in printing. And in any case, I need to finish that mural. Then I might take over for my father. I see. Be careful that this mural does not become an idol for you, Magdalene. Just as Eve had a weaker will than Adam, you are liable to stumble on the fruit of temptation as well. I hate the way Christians use the word stumble. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot.
You're right, though. It's like clumsy bitch appropriation.
I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. But thank you for allowing me inside, I guess. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. I feel really bad that we couldn't convince Suzanne to save herself.
Yeah.
Because she desperately needs to get out of here. Ah, Magdalene, how did your little expedition go? I kind of want to say the bottom one because I feel like this is the thing that might most provoke Gertrude into telling us something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm frustrated that there's so little left of the old abbey and saints. But, sister, there's something I don't understand. The abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? Oh, what a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. And there was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing and moved on. In truth, the abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kiersau was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire were simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Well, did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside, other than charred wood and parchment. Well, it might still be worth taking a look if I'm careful. Oh, I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Thank you for all your help, Sister Gertrude. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Okay, yeah, a couple hours passed. We gotta do some stuff yet. We got a pet son of Mousefonger, obviously. Critically important.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I am wondering if we will now be allowed to pick through the ruins of the Abbey, but also this episode is approaching 90 minutes.
Okay.
Well, that was...
We'll go ahead.
I don't know. I did learn more about the founding of Kiersau. And that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum, it was like the one in the mine. Is it part of the history of the Abbey? Of Tassing? It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burned down with everything in it. The ruins are right there. Maybe not everything was destroyed.
So let's just walk over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can end the episode.
Okay.
It will now let us in. And
We had to earn the right.
yeah, and I'm not going to hold you to keep going because, we need to get... I want to put more episodes out with you, so that... money.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I get approximately the same amount no matter how long the video is, so...
Yeah, so might as well just keep them to an hour. Yeah.
I do appreciate that. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I could put more ads in. I could put like mid-rolls, but like that sucks.
No.
I don't want to degrade the viewing experience for the lovely audience.
I can't imagine you doing that.
Yeah. So, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return next time, we are finally entering the burned out ruins of Kearsarge Abbey and possibly dying horribly when we are struck by a falling piece of masonry.
Love that for us.
I'm excited about it. And we'll see you then.